G'day. More than $100 million was spent on the Hungaroring upgrade. New grandstand, pit building and paddock. Was it money well spent? I've spent the past 2 days in the brand new Hungaroring paddock and it is impressive. Let's talk about the new grandstand and the new paddock building. Both are sensational. Grandstand's completed. That'll be full come Sunday, and it's much taller than the old one, which was, well, antiquated. But get this, come Sunday's race, this is what the grid will look like. See this? Half is in shade. The other half's in bright sun. So if it's sunny, the left-hand side of the grid as I see it now will be hotter on the tarmac than the right-hand side. So number 1, 3, 5, all the odd numbers are on the right-hand side. The even numbers are on the left, as you see this picture here. That means the driver qualifying second may well have an advantage, even though there's an 8 metre difference. It's a very long run to the first turn. They'll have more grip straight off the line, and maybe that 8 metre gap is closed very quickly. Still on the grandstand, have a look at it. It's shaped like a rear wing. And that and the paddock building took just 12 months to get to this stage, although the paddock building isn't complete. You'll have a look up the top here. That whole I don't know what's the whole level. Maybe it's most of the top level is not ready to occupy, but certainly the second level is, because we have a paddock club in there. And if you compare the old paddock building with this one, for a start, this is 3 levels. The other one was pretty much 1 and a bit with a tent structure on top. It's certainly a much needed improvement. Now, thanks to Quad Lock for sponsoring this video. The Quad Lock car kit just got a massive upgrade. Meet the world's most secure car mount, the all-new windscreen dash suction mount. It features an ultra-strong suction base and an extended arm for unbeatable reach and positioning. They've also launched the new cup holder mount, a clever solution that transforms your car's cup holder into a rock-solid adjustable phone mount. No vents, no adhesives, just precise engineering. And to round it out, there's the wireless CarPlay adapter. Plug it into your car's USB port and enjoy wireless CarPlay instantly. No more tangled cables. 3 new ways to move smarter, stay connected, and upgrade your drive. Check them out at the link in the description. And where's our media centre? I'd like to say on the top level, but that's next year. This year we're out in the back blocks, a good walk away from the paddock and in these demountables. I also had a chat with a number of mechanics today and all of them said it is fantastic. Brand new, obviously, but the garages are much bigger. Have a look at the old ones compared with the new ones. But the paddock itself is monstrously bigger. It's 19 metres wider. And today I thought, well, it's a really quiet day, but I guess if you condense it to what we had before, it wouldn't have been anywhere near as quiet. Well, quiet to look at. But a couple of things here. This is the 40th anniversary of this race. And over that 40 years, they've never missed one. Not even in 2020 when we had COVID. Plus, it came in under budget. Go figure. And because it is such a big paddock, the guys at Mercedes said normally their garage is ready to roll by Tuesday afternoon. Not this time. Tuesday morning. So they had half a day off, maybe even more. And that was all brought about because it was easier to manoeuvre trucks in and out and they could get a lot more things happening at the same time. Originally, they wanted to move last year's race back to May so that they could start earlier. But then they would have run the risk of losing the August slot. And this slot was more desirable to keep than it was to get a couple of extra months start on the project. So they just put in a lot more effort and worked day and night. You might remember the old tunnel where all the drivers had to walk through from the car park to the paddock. Well, that's all changed. This is the new tunnel. It's much bigger and it does have elevators at either end. This upgrade does put pressure on other tracks to lift their game. Melbourne has already announced that they'll be spending big money on their new pit building, which will begin construction after the 2026 race. And certainly any new tracks wanting to join the calendar will definitely have to be on their game and provide facilities of this sort of standard. It's what people expect when they're paying big bucks. But great job, Hungaroring. This is now one of my favourite paddocks on the calendar, and I look forward to coming back here next year. Allow me to introduce you to Sid McLean. Have a look at his arms, 2 tattoos. Well, his left arm, the one you're seeing on the right as you look at it, was actually taken from a shot that I shot last year in Spa. He said, I want a picture that looks exactly like my right arm, which is Senna, coming down to Eau Rouge. I headed out there, I took the picture, he purchased it at prostarpics.com, and then, to top it all off, after spending, I think he said £400, which is about $530 and 7 hours in the chair, he came out with this. And to top it off, Oscar Piastri signed it for him because that is Oscar in the picture. And he had that tattooed as well. That is someone showing great loyalty to their employer. Now, a couple of you sleuths happened to notice that Amanda Newey, who is Adrian Newey's wife and a real character, and Christian Horner were both at the same Oasis concert. They both took photos from what looks like the exact same position. I did a bit of detective work around the paddock today, and I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that they were both, or all three of them, were in the same suite, or certainly in the same area. I wouldn't be reading too much into that because those tickets were probably bought a year ago when everything was fine, and maybe it was a great opportunity for them to catch up together and perhaps even bury the hatchet if there was any bad blood when Adrian left Red Bull. Fred Vasseur, you might remember there were some rumours that he'd be getting sacked. Well, he hasn't been sacked, he's had his contract extended. There's no doubt that was well received by both of their drivers, Charles and Lewis. And I, for one, am delighted he's staying because he's one of the characters that we have in that paddock. Now that we've got rid of Christian, who have we got? Really only Toto and Fred. The others, nice guys, but they're not out there, they're not fun and games. And that's a quality I think is great in a Formula One team principle. Next up, I want to go back to this post which I put up today. This shows the number of times each driver was mentioned on Sky's broadcast. And I want to draw your attention down here to poor Liam Lawson, who was mentioned just 4 times despite finishing 8th, which is a very good result for the New Zealand driver. And I had a chat with him today and I said, did you know that you were only mentioned 4 times? He had no idea. And it was quite funny. He said, I have to do more on track. And I said to him, well, I think you did pretty well. Now, some of you think I'm having a go at a range of people. Let me tell you, I'm going to do this with Viaplay. I've asked for the audio from their Belgian Grand Prix telecast. And I've also just got a message here from Mariana Becker, who's hopefully going to get me the audio so I can hear their commentary and see whether or not Gabriel Bortoleto or Franco Colapinto is favoured. And I've got requests in with Sky Germany, plus I'm hopeful to get the Italian feed. Over a few weeks, I'm hoping to be able to post similar graphics like this, but from the different broadcasters. What about Ollie Behrman? He's still smarting over losing that record at the track that he drove in Sweden. You might have seen that story in one of my previous videos. In brief, he was in Sweden holidaying with his girlfriend and I think their family, and he came across this karting track, realised that he was probably a chance to break that record and made sure he did. But it wasn't easy. It happened over a number of days, I understand. Anyway, he told me at De La Source Hotel last week.
Elton, I want to see you stood on a scale, and we're going to go head-to-head next time I'm in Sweden. Good luck.
And then Elton confirmed his weight. So when I spoke to Ollie today, he is dead keen to get back there and set the record straight. And what I think he wants to do is ask Elton to carry 17 kilograms of ballast so that they're on even footing. Now, you might know this man. This is the fencer, and he is an Olympic quality athlete, friend of Lewis Hamilton's. He wasn't with us today, but Pierre Gasly and Franco Colapinto grabbed their, they're not swords, what are they? Eppies? Foils, and had a bit of fun in the paddock. The other thing that we saw today, Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris flipping pancakes. And this is me eating the pancake that Oscar cooked. And how was it? It was excellent with jam, would have been impeccable with ice cream as well. One of the most common questions I get as an F1 photographer is how can I meet a driver? The easiest place to meet a driver is at the entry to the paddock because they all have to go through there. But this is the entry now. With the remodelling of the track, you need to be underground in this car park. But I'm not sure that anyone can get here unless you're media or a driver. Sometimes paddock club people have been known to get to swipe gates like this, but I think you might be turned around. So here in Hungary, I think you might be better off trying to find where they're staying. And it's not very hard to find out. And if you watched a video I took the other day, I mentioned what goes on around the Kempinski Hotel. The Marriott's also popular, along with the Four Seasons, Aria, and the Ritz-Carlton. Well, it used to be the Ritz-Carlton, which is just next door. It's now changed its name. There are a couple of hundred people out the front of what used to be the Ritz-Carlton Hotel. And Kimi Antonelli has been working this line. Kimi, how many minutes have you been doing this?
Look who's here. I don't know. What's the time? Probably 20 minutes.
You're a good man. That is a tremendous investment of his time with these people, and he's loving it. And that's something that a lot of the new guys really get into. But of course, once you've been doing this game for years, 20 minutes of autographs and selfies doesn't have the same allure. I want to show you this gentleman here. This is Josh Paul. And what is he doing in the media centre with his hands in there? Well, he's actually doing something with his film because he is the man that shoots this very old camera. I took this picture of him and Ivan showing the differences in camera technology at the Monaco GP. And a lot of you said we'd like to see the photo. But unlike digital pictures, which we get seconds after shooting, it takes some time before Josh can get that picture up online. Well, this is the picture that he shot with his 20th century camera. And what film does he use? Ilford. What left to do now? please hit the like button. And for those about 50% of you watching this who are unsubscribed, I'd love to have you on board. There's a button that says subscribe. All you have to do is touch that. And for a whole lot of extra content and stuff, have a look here. Thanks for watching.
And stay passionate.
This is a test, and look, I think it's a pretty bloody good test as far as tests go. I think you want to be standing at about this angle and looking at the camera.